Hey guys, and welcome to episode 3 of my Vanguard 0 to 100k challenge. Today we're going to look at an update on my portfolio and let you know how it's going. Now you might have noticed last month I didn't do an update, and that's for a good reason. I've actually been stockpiling something, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly what it is. If you're new around here, do subscribe and follow along this journey to 100k. This is just part of my much larger journey right up to 1 million. And if you could press that like button to get this video out to as many people as possible, that would be much appreciated. So let's dive straight into the figures. So first up, let's take a look at how much passive income I've made over the past 2 months. So here's how we've been doing so far in a month by month breakdown. Now the reason I'm showing you this is because this portfolio is 100% of everything I've made right here on YouTube. So here's the previous months to get you up to date. Let's take a look at May. So in May, the YouTube ads was down, and it was down to £443. And in June, this did dip again to 332. Now this is because I've had a big drop off for some of my main videos, which is okay. I'm not completely relying on AdSense. It's nice and I'd like more of it, but it's just the boat I'm in. Hopefully one day that number will grow, but I'm yet to see it. Now match betting, I still feel guilty and I've left that in there because it was part of my journey at the beginning, but to be honest, I don't have any time to do match betting whatsoever. I still think it's a really good side hustle, but at the moment I'm putting all of my spare time into YouTube. I've got loads of other things I need to work on, like guides, courses, and just making a better community and more videos in general. My affiliates did incredibly well, so you might wonder why this is, and this is just kind of the back payment from the new ISA year. And that's when I'll get the majority of new signups. So in May, I managed to make 3,329, and in June, which was my best month yet, I managed to make 5,839, which is pretty incredible. There is going to be a giant drop off in the next few months because that money has vanished now, but I can't complain while I got it, but it's not something that I expect to get month on month. And in terms of sponsorships, both months have been at £1,000, so I'm really chuffed with that too. The Patreon has varied slightly, so in May it was 311, and in June it was at 314. I still need to find a way to add more value in that. What I'm actually working at the moment is I'm actually building some software which members will get free access to. I'll share more details soon, but the idea will be to manage your portfolio and let you know good times to buy. I do appreciate everyone who's joined so far because it really goes a long way to supporting the channel. The Discord group's great, we've got a great group of people in there. I might change it up slightly and eventually make the Discord free and maybe have different tiers, but we'll see what happens. So in May, my total was 5,084, and in June it was a whopping 7,485. Now as I show this, I am a bit cautious because I don't want it to just be like, oh, I'm earning all this money. Actually, this is a result of a lot of work that I've put in prior, and I just got a bit lucky. I am still working on another series where I'll be investing a small amount so it's more realistic. But the thing I want to stress is that this series is just my journey. I'm not doing it and saying this is how much you need to invest. I'm saying this is what I've managed to make, and I just want to document everything here on YouTube as transparent as possible. And I thought it'd be fun to invest all the money I make and just see how far it can go. So in total, that takes me to £30,000 earned over 15 months, with an average of £2,000 per month. And I've worked out on an hourly rate of being £50 per hour, and that's based on me spending 10 hours per week. So it seems now that YouTube has become more viable, although I do want that payment to be consistent and not just a one-off. The other consideration, because £50 looks really good, is that actually I've worked it out on 10 hours per week, which yes is probably the amount of time I spend scripting, editing and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't account for all the organising I do, all of the mental capacity when I'm trying to focus on other tasks, and all I can think about is YouTube for 2 hours, what video I'm going to make, what I'm going to do next, what community I want to build. So actually it could be about half that rate, so do bear that in mind. So in this video I'm going to be investing £12,569. It is also worth bearing in mind here that I will have some tax bill later on. I think the easiest way for me to deal with that is probably just pay it at the end of the year and then take that value into account going forward from there. So essentially I will have a sum, maybe it's £4,000 or £6,000, and I'll start chipping away at that each month next year. All of this money I've got here is being paid straight into a SIP because it's all within that higher tax bracket. So with the more tax relief, it's a no-brainer. Unfortunately, at the moment, I haven't managed to put as much into my SIP as I want to, so I need to start thinking about that soon. So let's hop over to Vanguard to see how it's looking. So you can see my pension account value is at 36,791. My total gain since the inception has been minus £710. That's down, but it's not too bad considering the state of the market. And you can see my contributions so far this tax year. Personally, I've put in £17,008, and this is how much tax relief I've been able to achieve, which is 4,252, which is essentially free. Now, the thing to bear in mind with a pension, I'm going to have to pay tax on the way out, so don't get too excited. But that extra boost does really help get the numbers up there. You can see the current allowance for this year is 40,000, and that's what I'm aiming for. I don't know whether I'll do it, I probably won't, but let's try anyway. So here's what I've been doing over the past 2 months. If you take a look at my investments, you can see I'm now a whopping 46% in cash. This means for my other holdings, I've got my FTSE 100 ETF is 16%, my developed world VV is 17.82%, and then my S&P 500 is 17.95. Now, the reason I've been doing this is, yes, of course, I think let's invest consistently and just forget about it. That's what I would normally recommend. But at the moment, I feel like we're on the verge of things crashing even more. The winter's coming, people just can't afford their energy bills, and I think it's not going to be good news. So I just want to have some cash available to jump in there, because in the past, that's when I've made the best gains. So that's why I've got such a big cash pile and why the others are looking so low. I'm going to play that by ear and see how it goes, but for the moment, I'm just focusing on building up more cash. I could think about leaving that in something like Chase and getting 1.5%, but the sooner I get it in here, I get the tax relief and it all looks neat and tidy. You do have a fund in here you can put it into, but it's like 0.15%, so I'm not really too fussed about doing that. I'd rather have the cash available to get going. If I notice things do dip quite considerably, I'll probably just start averaging in from there. So in terms of performance, you can see my chart starting to go upwards, and that's just because I'm adding more cash. Your portfolio will always look better if you just invest on a consistent basis. I've noticed that with my ISA, if I just put it in the one time, then it looks down and you're waiting for it to come up. So if you can invest consistently, it does look better. If we look at the breakdown on a month-by-month basis, you can see July has actually been a lot better. So compared to June, where I was down 1,100, I'm actually up £583. And I've also had this lovely income in the form of a dividend of £165. You can see my fee was £6.36 and my personal investment returns was £742. So actually, if any of you guys are using Vanguard at the moment, you might find this chart actually better to look at, rather than just looking at the whole balance and thinking, oh no, I'm down. If you look month to month, you can actually see some months are pretty decent. And I'll just quickly show you guys my chart. So my FTSE is here, and you can see the points on the chart that I've invested. Of course, now it would look like a good time to pick up some more. But again, if we go to a 5-year timeline, I think it could drop again quite significantly. So I'm just waiting to see. But now doesn't look like a bad time to actually add some more. The developed world, you can see here, there's the points I've invested, and yet it's down. It has come back up slightly, but I do feel like this is probably just a temporary hold. And we've got the S&P 500, which is almost identical to the last one. I was in two minds actually about whether to ditch one of these and just go maybe for the S&P 500, because they do perform pretty much the same, but I think it's more interesting to have a couple of funds. So I think this portfolio is not in too bad of a position considering how bad the market's been this year. What I am thinking about here is maybe changing around some of the funds. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you think I should combine the VV and the VUSA and just have the one? And I'm also researching into the other funds, so maybe things like an ESG fund. I think that would be quite interesting because obviously it's a more ethical way to invest. Or maybe we could consider some other funds like a FTSE 250, or maybe even something like Japan or Asia excluding Japan. I'll be doing another video all about the ESG funds and other Vanguard funds that I think are good options. So do let me know down below because I want to keep this series as interactive as possible. Let me know what you think, which one do you think I should maybe add or take away. So overall in this tax year so far, I'm over 50% towards my goal. And I'm quite happy with that considering we're only in July. Obviously that affiliate income isn't going to happen again, so I do need to think of other ways to make money in order to hit that goal. I'm working on a few more sponsorships and a few new series, and hopefully I can get a website together because I am a trained website designer after all, so it's crazy for me not to have a website. The only reason I haven't so far is because everything chrispalmer.co.uk is taken for some bizarre reason. I didn't realise my name was so popular. So I'm over 50% complete, and it's quite easy to do the maths to see I'm 36.7% complete towards that 100k goal. I think this series is quite interesting because it just demonstrates how powerful it is just adding more money. I'm not a day trader, I'm a long-term investor, so just imagine if we keep this series going and we check in 5 or 10 10 years time. So I'd really like to keep this series going and check in 5 or 10 years time and see where we're at. Eventually the goal is going to be to hit 1 million, but that's not going to be tomorrow. That's probably going to take 10 or 15 years. If you've got any questions about Vanguard or investing in general, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.